Hold on, hold on, wait. I ain't with like wait. They ain't heard that part though. No, no, I had said I had went live. I had took you off though before I went. I did. I really didn't even hear what. I really didn't even hear what the hell you see. I really. Oh, I didn't even hear exactly what you see. I just heard that first part. Oh, nah. Of course. Look, hey, look. I'm finna go. Yeah. Ah, yeah. You one of them. Sometimes motherfuckers just be wrong. It ain't necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes people want, you to reassure them of certain things. You know what I mean? Sometimes they want reassurance. Not what you don't need. You don't think. Do you need? Do you need reassurance? Do you need reassurance sometimes? Yeah. 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 I'm on that time too, though. It's the same time I'm on. Ah, it's like one of those. It's one of those things. Yeah. 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 Right. Yeah. Right. What you do? What you do is the question. It's a reason. It's a reason. I say it's the reason. He like that. Yeah. Whoever you talking about, that's who you talking about. To most, yeah, to most. You know what I say? I don't want to say it. I think I think uh I don't think so. Yeah. Uh Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. Right. Guys. Yeah, I believe you. Mhm. Hey, look, I'm finna do this show. I'm finna do this show. Okay. Don't- Uh, I'm finna. I got you. I'm hit you up. I'm, yeah, I know that. Come on, that's how I am anyway. That's how I am anyway. I got you. Uh, Getting Hardaway SouthernTea back with another. DP said my everything, y'all. Man, she a motherfucker, y'all. Shout out my girl Destiny, First Lady Destiny, man. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, that motherfucker is wow. She is wow, man. Dog, that shit was hilarious. That shit was so fucking hilarious, bro. Dog. Speaking of shit that ain't happened. Speaking of shit that ain't happened, dog. Okay, so Bob Arum, Bob Arum is pushing for Bob Arum is pushing for, you know, well, I'm not even gonna say he's pushing for Lomachenko versus Shakur Stevenson. What I'm gonna say is he's pushing Shakur Stevenson away from Oscar Valdez. I don't care who he pushing him to, but I do understand this. Oscar Valdez is with Top Rank. Shakur Stevenson is with Top Rank. You know what I mean? Shakur, Shakur Stevenson, is the WBO champ, right? So why is Bob Arum trying to make Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez when Navarrete is the WBO champion and so is Shakur Stevenson? And when you move up a division by WBO rule, you automatically, fight for the belt. So wouldn't it make more sense for Shakur Stevenson to fight? Navarrete, if you was gonna do it like that, you got a champion WBO champion Shakur Stevenson. You got a champion in Oscar Valdez with the WBC belt, both in the same stable. Why not? Just make that fight. Why you bringing Navarrete up from 126? You know what I mean? To fight Valdez, who just fought Corn Sinkow, which was a mandatory. So Oscar Valdez free, Shakur Stevenson free. Lomachenko already has a fight. Lomachenko already has a fight with Richard Comey, right? Shakur free, Oscar Valdez free. Why not just make unification and have the winner, fight uh fight the other champion in the division? I can't think of his name right now. I think his name started with an A, Russian guy. I do live, some shit like that. If y'all know who I'm trying to say, help your boy out. Somebody go to Google. Who's the other champion that won at 130 right now? DP Rocket said, "Is that a good thing?" Him fighting Lomachenko on the surface when you first heard, yeah, you might think it's a good thing, but when you really, really think about it, Shakur Stevenson deserves that Oscar Valdez fight. You know, he's a double division champion. He was a champion at 126. Now he's a champion at 130. He just coming off that Jamel Herring win. You got Oscar Valdez coming off the win over Miguel Burchell. He his mandatory was Robson Cohen Sinkow. They both fight for top rank. They both fight for you. So in hindsight, you're really not losing. You're really not losing either which way. You know what I mean? Both fighters are yours. I'm saying this because I'm noticing a pattern with Bob Arum. He said because he knows Shakur would beat the brakes off Oscar. He said Loma is a good name for Shakur, but it's also a way to get Shakur off Oscar head. Facts. I think because Lomachenko really is a good name, Bob Arum feel like, oh, they really can't say too much about this fight. But really, he's putting Shakur in there, hoping that Lomachenko will beat him. Now, I think Shakur Stevenson beats Lomachenko. But the thing is, you want Shakur Stevenson to wait on Lomachenko when Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson both are free right now. I'm just starting, to see a pattern. I know there's Terrence Crawford and a guy that you might know. I don't know if you know him or not, but his name is Manny Pacquiao. A guy named Terrence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao were both signed to Bob Arum too, back in the day. And Bob Arum, gassed us up and led us on like we want to get this fight between this guy called Terrence Crawford and this guy called Manny Pacquiao. And we never got that fight, and both of them were on the same side of the street. I'm also one that feel like that Bob Arum is the guy who completely mishandled, Terrence Crawford's career. Also a guy who kind of feel like early in some of those fights, I think, with Terrence Crawford, Terrence Crawford with the dreads, starting off extra early in his career. I think Bob Arum put him in a couple of those fights thinking he would lose, and he persevered. You know what I'm saying? I think Bob Arum, and I think that's why Terrence Crawford left. I think Bob Arum, undervalued, Terrence Crawford. I don't think he got him the fight that he could have got him. Now he gave him some titles, he gave him some divisions. He put the fluff on it, he made it look good. But in hindsight, he didn't give him, you know, everything he could have gave him. He unified the 140-pound division, but he never gave him that fight that will make him, a superstar in boxing. Terrence Crawford has hella accolades, and he should be proud of all of them. But I feel like Bob Arum covered up, actually, promoting him and steering him in the right direction. I think he covered it up by giving him, a division here, a division there, undisputed here type. Not giving it to him because he had to earn it. You know what I mean? But I kind of think that, I kind of think he suppressed Terrence Crawford in the sense as far as his popularity because he didn't promote him the right way. I think he suppressed him and mean his popularity and as far as his financial gain, given that he didn't promote him the same way and he didn't give him big fights on his, within top rank that he could have gave him type deal. So I think Bob Arum is on the path of doing the same thing with Shakur Stevenson. You know what I mean? I think this is the beginning stages of him doing the same thing to Shakur Stevenson that he did to Bob Arum. I think Terrence Bud Crawford should have got away from Bob Arum. Shit, how old is Bud? At 34? At this point, Terrence Crawford probably should have got away from Bob Arum every bit about shit 6 years ago. You know what I mean? Maybe even before that, maybe 10 years ago type deal. Right around the time that Bud Crawford became the undisputed champ and Bud Crawford, moved up to the 147-pound division and he got that belt. I feel like that's right around the time maybe Bud should have left him. If not, right when he got undisputed. But especially after he got undisputed, Skin Too Little said, "Here's how I see it." In Bob's head, he sees as this, let's get Shakur in there with Loma because they feel Loma will win. If Shakur probably look like he's winning but could be close in their head, we can get a W to Loma to kill Oscar Valdez versus Shakur High. Right, I kind of think that he trying to transition the company from Lomachenko into Oscar Valdez, and he can't do that if Shakur Stevenson beats Oscar Valdez. I just think that I feel like I've seen this before. You know what I'm saying? And I'm translating Manny Pacquiao to Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson to Terrence Crawford. You know what I mean? Bob Arum told us we go get this fight. We go get this fight. You know what I'm saying? Two champions, alone of the same divisions for most of their career. You know what I mean? Bud, I really feel like Bud would have been went up to 147 if he had got a Manny Pacquiao fight when he first started asking for it. Actually, Manny Pacquiao was in a lower division around the time he first started asking for a Manny Pacquiao fight. You know what I mean? Now, you could feel like I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but I personally feel like Bob Arum and Top Rank just doesn't want to build, a black champion, a black fighter. I think he would sign them because he knows that these are some of the best fighters out. In case they blow, what I mean? I think he signs them to build them up, to suppress them, and to hinder them in the long run. I mean, he get them. I think he under. I think after a certain point, Bob Arum undervalues his superstar. I think Bob Arum is cool to go to, when you starting off in the beginning, when you are first getting into boxing in the prospect stage, to build you up, put you on, free TV, put you on affordable, TV, affordable apps type deal, good exposure, throw you on some undercards or some title fights type deal, even get you, a couple titles in divisions, if you play your cards right. He has the WO belt under his nail, so he could make you a champion. He can make you a 2 division champion, 3 division champion, as many divisions as you're ready to move up, if you really want to. So there are perks of, being with Bob Arum, but I think that's more so for in the beginning of your career, because as you advance in your career and as you get older, I think Bob Arum uh I think Bob Arum wants to pay you like you're a prospect for the duration, of your contract, instead of, improving your pay, fight by fight, or, contract by contract type deal. I think he wants to keep you at a certain level, uh, and I think he wants to take most of the profit, for himself. I'm just being straight with. I think Bob Arum wants to take most of the profit for himself. While he give you, the things that's on. I think he wants to take most of your hard earned money while you get the crumbs of the stuff that you work for. And I think Bud Crawford realized that. I know that Floyd Mayweather realized that. I know that Mikey Garcia realized that, which is why they left. And they did much better after they left Bob Arum. Do you notice that? A lot of the people who leave Bob Arum, do better after they leave him. And I'm not saying that it's bad to go to Bob Arum. Skinny Too Late said Bob is all about the money. Skinny Too Late said it will be bad either way because I see Shakur winning against Loma and Oscar, so on better play safe out here. Shakur ain't no joke. Bingo. He said, let's put our PPP loans together and get Spence versus Crawford. He said, you Crawford May, I already found a venue on Crenshaw. I'm with it, bro. Come on. I'm with it, Antonio. Shout out my nigga Antonio Holmes. I'm with it. He said, well, of course, Bob is all about the money. Yep. And I think Shakur needs to realize, what's going on. I really think Shakur already realized what's going on, because I remember there was a time, not too long ago. I can't remember exactly what and what was right now, but I remember Shakur calling Bob Arum out on some bullshit about a fight with Shakur. One time, Shakur kind of snapped back at Bob Arum. So I think Shakur is, a little more aware than, boxers of the past. And I think Shakur should stay with Bob Arum until he reaches a certain point. Shakur has about what 16 fights. I think after Shakur next, contract next 4 fights or so, he most definitely should get away from, Bob Arum because about that time, in about 4 years, I see Shakur being one of the, biggest, bigger stars in boxing, type deal. Earl Spence and Bud Crawford, probably be out the game or on their way out the game. Shakur be one of the biggest stars in boxing. The tide would have been completely changed by then. Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Colbert, Ryan Garcia, T.O., all, that crop, those guys would be about 27, 28, you know what I mean? And I think and Tank Davis would be about, about what, 31, 32, type deal. So I can see Shakur Stevenson being, a star along with those other guys. And I can see right around that time, that'll be time need to separate from Bob, because that's gonna be right around the time where that man will probably be eligible for those pay-per-views to see what he do. And for he would have been able to been with Bob enough to been promoted, the right way in the beginning, get his name out there, on that side of the street. And then, he can either go be a free agent or, sign with another company who gives him more of his own cut of his fights. You know what I mean? Pay, you just essentially, you could, it's guaranteed purses, and then, you get the revenue from the pay-per-views. If you don't do a pay-per-view, you just get your guaranteed purse. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? At a certain time. And I think guys like I think guys like Tank Davis already started doing it where he's hitting his pay-per-view stride, where he's seeing where he's worked with his pay-per-view numbers. I think around that time is around 25, 26, 27 is where you start testing yourself out with the pay-per-views to see what your pay-per-views draw in. Even if you think they might be bad, this just about the time where you see what you could do, you see where you need to go, and you see where your fan base stands. I think Shakur Stevenson is about 3 years or 4 years from that. You know what I mean? So Shakur Stevenson at the point where he could still stay with Bob Arum, for their publicity, for the ESPN. About 3 or 4 more years of Bob Arum, Shakur fuck around and be a 3-4 division champ. You know what I'm saying? For sure, he'll be a 3 division champ in 3 years. Fuck around, be a 4 division champ. He stayed with Bob Arum. And then after that, you know what I mean? When he get about 26, 27, around that time, I see Shakur Stevenson probably should separate away from Bob Arum, because I think he's going to do the same thing he did to Terrence Crawford. I think he's going to do the same thing that he tried to do to Michael Garcia. Michael Garcia. People forget Michael Garcia lost a couple years off his career messing around with Bob Arum, because Bob Arum suppressed his career and he held his fights up too. You know what I mean? But this is all I gotta say. I think Shakur Stevenson. I think Bob Arum is on track, is on pace, is attempting to do Shakur Stevenson like he did Bud, and that suppress his talents, by under promoting him, not giving him the fights that that he deserves and that he's supposed to get, not giving him the fights that we all know will make Shakur Stevenson, the superstar that he is. Not just giving him the opportunity that he's earned. Valdez is a champion. Shakur is a champion. They're supposed to fight each other. Shakur has earned it. He beat Jamel Herring. He moved up the division. He was a champion in the lower division. Valdez was a champion in the lower division. Moved up the division. They both under the top rank. It's about that time. It's a fight that the people want to see. And if you bring in Navrate up, he's the WBO champion, right? Shakur's the WBO champion. Why Navrate not fighting Shakur? Because they just make sense. They're both WBO champion, right? When you move up in the WBO, you get an automatic title shot. So Navrate should be Shakur fight if anybody fight. Why does Loma draw Shakur and Navrate? Why does Loma draw Shakur and Navrate draw Valdez when he's the WBO? Should Loma fight Valdez then, and then the winner of Navrate, since he the WBO, and Shakur fight the winner of Oscar Valdez and Lomachenko? You know what I mean? I feel like that Bob Arum is trying to make it harder on Shakur. I think that he wants to. I think he's catering to Oscar Valdez. He has been catering to Oscar Valdez. That Robson Corn Sinkow in the PED thing was enough. There was an indication that he is catering. You know what I mean? So I think that's who he wants his champion to be. So he's trying to use, a guy like Lomachenko to knock off Shakur Stevenson, even though it really don't make sense. You can go WBO, WBO, Navarrete, Shakur, Lomachenko, Valdez, let the winners fight each other. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to come up with how the hell did he draw Shakur to Lomachenko, and I think Shakur beats Lomachenko. So understand that I'm not saying, oh, well, I don't want Shakur to fight Lomachenko because that's not what I'm saying. I think Shakur beats Lomachenko too. I'm just saying I'm just bringing attention to how funny I think Bob Arum is moving and how I think I seen this story before with Bud Crawford. But I knew I was gonna be a little mean on this video, but I just want to hit y'all with that real quick, get y'all my thought and opinion on that. I think Bob Arum moving Shakur real funny. I think Shakur should be on the lookout. And I think Shakur beat Lomachenko and Oscar Valdez, but I just want to let Bob know that I can see the play, and I still think that NBF thing is in full effect right under our nose. But that's all I got. Skin Hardaway, SouthernTea. This ain't the past. This ain't the future, but this the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.